All right, fantasy football time. Here we are, Dave. Big weekend. I mean, fantasy football week 14 is happening, but back in the day, this used to be the start of the playoffs, but it isn't, Dave. And why don't you tell us why?
Buys this week. Yeah, you wouldn't think it would be this late in the season, but there is buys this week. We got 4 teams on bye. One of them is playing. Actually, 2 of them are playing tonight.
I
We
know.
got Carolina, who actually has been playing really well. Big upset over the Rams this past week. Bryce Young is going off 2 out of the 3 last games, over 327 yards. But fortunately, you're not going to have him this week. So get him on your bench. You get Tate McMillan, too. Rico Dwaddle. Chuba Hubbard actually who had a resurgence this past week. He looked like the lead back this past week. He had a really good game. Fortunately, get all those guys on your bench this week. We got New England, who has a couple guys you want to get on your bench as well. Henderson at running back, Drake May. The wide receiver is Stephon Diggs, probably. Kashan Butte, who actually had a touchdown tonight. He actually came back, looked good tonight. He's back last week, but he didn't really do much last week. And then not many other guys, maybe Hunter Henry, borderline, probably starter for Hunter Henry. And then Trevon Henderson, Ramaj Stevenson, possibly too. He had a big play before half tonight. Then you got the Giants, Jackson Dart, Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy, Theo Johnson, who actually has been a resurgence at tight end here for them. He's been looking good this year. But unfortunately, you're getting those guys all on your bench this week. And then the 49ers, Brock Purdy, Ricky Purcell, Kendrick Bourne, but he's borderline right now. He's probably not starting him. And then CMC, you're going to miss him this week. One of the fantasy studs this week, so you can definitely miss him. And then George Kittle, of course, as well. So some big names this week, actually, for the Patriots and 49ers. Some big fantasy guys, especially CMC. So that's going to hurt some people this week, especially when they're making their playoff push.
Yeah, there's a lot of playoff pushes, and it's pretty stressful if you're loaded with some of these guys. So I know what you're saying. Let's move into some key injuries then, and starting out with some of the Thursday games, we had Amon-Ra St. Brown out with an ankle injury. Being that he had a week is a shot. He didn't practice today, and his designation wasn't to practice anyway. But we'll see. I mean, you're not going to know till Wednesday really have a idea. But I kind of think that he should be out, but we'll see if it's good enough to play if he gets pushed by good old Dan Campbell. Marvin Harrison Jr. went out, another receiver this week with a heel injury. He's day-to-day. Dylan Sampson, if you're ever starting him, I mean, for the Cleveland Browns, he was doing a little better over the past few weeks. Wide receiver Parker Washington had a hip injury for the Jaguars. Justin Herbert had a fracture of his left hand, but he'll probably play next week. It's just some minor surgery. And kind of like an Aaron Rodgers situation, right? And then running back Kyron Williams left the Rams game with an ankle. But Dave, what am I missing here?
That's most of the Aaron Jones with a shoulder injury. Dante Thornton Jr. probably not playing him, but concussion. That's pretty much it. A couple of big Sauce Gardner left with a calf strain, so that was a big injury for their defense for the Colts. But that's pretty much it. Trevon Diggs might return this week, so that'll help the secondary. Enjoy both the left too. So a couple IDP guys, but other than that, yeah, not too many injuries. Amon-Ra St. Brown was the big injury this week for sure.
Definitely. Let's move into waiver wire. Dave, I'm going to start this week because I got one that you'll like. Dontavian Wicks. Wow, did he go off last Thursday?
He did.
Eight targets, 2 touchdowns, only 1% ownership in most leagues, including Yahoo. I think he's going to be a favorite here coming up soon. He's been injured, but now he's back. I can see Jordan Love targeting him a lot. He's been good before too, so he's definitely my favorite pickup for running backs. I mean, you can go with Mason if you think that Jones isn't going to play. I still think Aaron Jones might play, but I think, just grab Jordan Mason just in case. I think Chuba Hubbard was massive. It was weird. He was really in the mix, 17 carries, and it makes me wonder about Dowdle a little bit. Maybe it was just a one-off. I don't know. If you're a Dowdle owner.
Yeah, it's hard to say. And he had 2 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown too. So yeah, but the Dwaddle still had, I think, 18 carries for Dwaddle. So they both had quite a few. They had over 40 between them. So yeah, they're running the ball a ton. But yeah, I don't know who the lead back is Yeah.
Possibly a split backfield. Let's just say we'll see if that
exactly.
changes.
Yeah, definitely.
Bam Knight, really for the Cardinals. I mean, nobody's really been picking him up. He's still available in a lot of leagues. Wide receiver Jalen Coker was hot against the Rams. God, I can't believe the Rams lost that game. Jeez, these Carolina Panthers, didn't they beat the Packers too? They had some massive wins. I thought Carolina beat the Bills. They beat the Rams. I thought they beat the Packers in Green Bay in a weird game. Am I wrong? I can't remember. Yeah. It's just
unfortunately
they get crushed by some just mediocre crap, and then they go and do this. They're just so weird. Mitch Tinsley had 9 targets against the Ravens. Now he only caught 2 of them, but that 9 targets woke me up a little bit. I had an IOC boss prop, and he had like 2 targets and 1 catch or something. I was like wondering what the hell happened there. Running back Blake Corum for the Kyron Williams injury is a pickup this week in case Kyron can't go. I like wide receiver Isaac Tesla as well against the Cowboys. Bad D. That's good pickup here for the St. Brown injury. And Michael Wilson, we've said it weekly, but he's huge for the Cardinals. So that's my waiver wire. Dave, who are yours?
Yep. And then Bryce Young, he's only rostered in, it says 11% of leagues right now. But I don't believe that. I think he's rostered by more. But 2 of the last 3 games, he's averaged 327 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and over 28 fantasy points a game. So they do have a bye this week, but if someone does drop him this week, definitely scoop him up. He's been playing really well. I think they live or die kind of by him and their run game. But when Bryce Young has a great game, they usually win. So he's been playing well. Tyler Shogg for the Saints, he had a solid game this past week. He's averaged 235 passing yards and 1.3 touchdowns, about 14 fantasy points a game right now. So if you have a guy that's on bye this week, you can definitely plug him in. I like the Blake Corum, like you said. I like Donnie Mitchell for the Jets. He's kind of taken over that number 1 spot now after he got traded to him. He's had 8 receptions on 12 targets for 102 receiving yards, a touchdown, and 24 fantasy points, then a season high in every category this past week. So definitely, I like the Isaac Tisala, like you said too. I like that one for the Monterey St. Brown injury. And then Isaiah Likely, he's been coming on now lately. And then another guy too that we kind of forgot about, Trey Benson. Actually, he's designated to return, so he should be coming back shortly. So I like the Bam Knight pickup though too. But if Trey Benson does come back, I definitely scoop him up. He should be coming back in the next couple weeks, so he'll definitely be the number 1 once he comes back, and he'll definitely move ahead of all those guys there. But not a lot of pickups this week, but those are the ones I had. And I liked a lot of the ones you had as well.
Well, why don't you get into sleepers and start trending up for week 14?
Sounds good. Some of the guys I like this week, I like the Lions against the Cowboys. The Cowboys offense has been great lately. Their defense has been playing better, but Lions coming off a loss on Thanksgiving, playing against the poor Cowboys D. I still don't think the Cowboys D is still legit. Their secondary is still struggles. So I do like the Lions this week. Tisala could have a nice game this week if Ramon St. Brown's out, and James Williams is pretty much a starter now, but he's definitely trending up too with Ramon St. Brown out. Williams is going to feast kind of like he did on Thanksgiving. So I like that matchup. I like the Seahawk matchup against the Falcons. I do like both running backs there, Cabernet and Kenny Walker. I like both those guys this week. Arnold too. I think he could have a good week against the Falcons as well. I did nasty sleeper last week. Cousins, he had a solid game, but he didn't have the nasty game like I was expecting him to. But he had a solid game. Starting this week. I do like the Steel. I like Aaron Rodgers this week against the Ravens. Ravens defense they got getting some pieces back, but they're still not playing that well. Lamar's still struggling too as well, so we'll get to him on the bus in a minute here. But I like Jalen Warren too against them. Warren's been playing good. He had a touchdown this past week again. I like Junkins this week, and I like Shadir Sanders actually this week too against the Titans D. I like that matchup. I like the Commanders against the Vikings D. Vikings have a solid run D, but their pass D hasn't looked good the past couple weeks, and they don't really have a quarterback right now either. So they're going to be off the field. Their defense is going to be on the field quite a bit. So I like the Commanders. Commanders look good this past week, and they're getting healthy. They had McLaren back, and they had Debo looked good too. So both those guys back. I like that matchup for them. I like the Dolphins this week, who actually have quietly won 3 straight games. I like Tua this week, Waddle. I like Ashawn, who's actually had like 3 100-yard games in a row now. So he's probably a must start anyways, but definitely like Tua this week for Jets D. I like Shog this week against the Buccaneers. and vice versa. Like Mayfield's already a starter, but I think I like Bucky Irving this week, who had a solid game last week in his return.
Bucky
So I
Irving's
like
a
him.
starter, dude.
Yeah, I guess he's a starter, but a lot of people probably had him on his bench and haven't been starting him because he's been injured so long. So definitely get him back in your lineup because he is a must start, like you said. So yeah, that's probably one I couldn't really say. But yeah, I like Shakir against the Bengals. I like that matchup for him. And then I like Troy Franklin actually this week against the Raiders. He didn't really do much this past week, but I like him. I like Odunze against the Packers. And I like the Texans against the Chiefs. So I do like Higgins, who's actually been coming on lately as well. So those are my guys who are trending up this week.
All right. I'll just quick go through mine. We have Kyle Monagai against the Packers. Packers had a big defensive injury to their line. So I think Monagai could be a sneaky one right there. What was his name? Wyatt that got hurt?
Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, he's out for the rest of the year. I think he had a broken ankle.
That's a tough loss. Running back Ray Davis against the Bengals, I like for sure for Buffalo. Dontavian Wicks, like I mentioned before. Khalil Shakir against the Bengals. Mitch Tinsley, it could be okay too with the Bengals if he's going to get all those targets and Higgins is out. Shooter Sanders, I agree with you, Dave. I'm with you on that one. Jerry Jetty too, throw him in there. Jaleel McLaughlin against the poor Raiders could hit. He could be a good cleanup guy. I like Troy Franklin, like you mentioned, Isaac Tesla, and tight end Ross Dwelly, believe it or not, for the Cowboys or for the Lions versus the Cowboys could be pretty good. Let's move right into busts here. Dave, I hate to say it, but Lamar Jackson, man, dude, he's like 15th even in average points per game. I've never seen him that low before, and it's only because he started good, but he's just been killing my fantasy team. I barely won this week in my league, and I needed to win to keep my playoff hopes alive. But it wasn't because of him and his 1 or 2 points he's been getting me every single week. I just don't even know what to do with the dude. He's got some head problems.
Yeah, he's borderline benchable right now. It's hard to bench someone like that though.
And I got Herbert. It's like I got Herbert, and Herbert's playing the Eagles, and now do I bench Lamar now? I probably just have to ride it out because I drafted him like top 2, right?
I almost think you have to ride it out. And then he has an all right matchup this week too. So he's got
a good matchup against Steelers. Yeah, Ladd McConkey could struggle against the Eagles, but I just put him in my bust category because I'm fed up. That's why. Running back Tony Pollard. Well, seriously, I mean, if you have better options than Lamar, start him. Daniel Jones against the Jaguars is iffy. Aaron Rodgers against the Ravens is broke. Bijan Robinson against the Seahawks is sad. Jacoby Brissett against the Mad Rams team this week. I don't like that. Chris Rodriguez against the Bears Spike Queens team. And Caleb Williams, unfortunately, against the Packers. I mean, he's just not quite mature enough for me to trust him in Green Bay in the cold, but he's proved me wrong already a few times. So, I mean, this might be the last time I say him, but I just still little. I mean, I think the Bears riding high. They could either get blown out or win by a field goal this week. It's just one of those, Dave.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's going to happen this week. I agree with that on Caleb. He's got the lowest completion percentage in the entire league, so definitely agree with you on that.
We got a question here. Who from Modify Season? Who would you rather have in Dynasty? BTJ or Jordan Addison? Which one's BTJ?
Thomas Jr. from the Jaguars.
Oh, okay. Brian Thomas. I have him in like freaking 2 leagues. He's been really suspect. I didn't see what he did last week, Dave.
Not much. He only had like 2 or 3. I think 2 catches. I think.
I think the Jaguars are just pissed at him. I would rather have. I mean, beginning of season, I definitely tell you BJ, but now probably have Jordan Addison. The problem is you have to wait for a quarterback in Minnesota. It's just what a shit situation. No, I'd still would. Oh, I don't know. I think it's pretty bad, but I would still go with BTJ, I guess. Jesus.
I'm BTJ all the way. Yeah, that's not even a question. He's still the better receiver. He's got a quarterback. Addison doesn't have a quarterback right now. Even with McCarthy comes back, he's still not getting him the ball. I think BTJ just been injured all year. I think when he gets healthy, if he's fully healthy, I think he could bust back out again. I think he'd break out the rest of the year once he's healthy. I don't think he's fully healthy though. I think he's been playing through quite a few injuries. So I think dynasty wise, next year, I think he could bounce back. Definitely not having a good year this year, but next year, if he gets healthy in the offseason, definitely think he could do really well last year like he did his rookie year. So, yeah.
Who are your busts, Dave?
All right. I agree with you on a lot of yours. I don't like the Chiefs against the Texans. That's a tough game for them. So I'm downgrading Patty Mahomes and Kelsey. I don't like them. And all the running backs, I don't think they do well against the Texans either. So Hunt and Pachinko, I don't like either one of them. I don't like the Chargers against the Eagles. So Herbert, I don't like him. Kareem Vidal, I don't like him either against the Eagles. So downgrading those guys, that's a tough D. I don't like the Brissett, like you said, against the Rams D. They have a solid D already. I agree with Caleb Williams. I don't like the Raiders this week against the Broncos. You're definitely not starting Geno, even if you were before. Genty, he's borderline a starter right now. He's been struggling all year. He's had a few games here and there where he showed promise, but don't like him this week against the Broncos. They got like a top 3 defense right now, so I'm not starting any Raiders this week. Bowers maybe, but that's about it. Even him is suspect because I don't think Geno's gonna have enough time to even get him the ball. So I don't like that matchup. I don't like the Jaguars against the Colts. I think the Colts this is almost like a must win for both of them to kind of move ahead of the other team. So the Jaguars have been playing really well too. So this is a kind of a toss up though. I don't like either one of these matchups. Both defenses are pretty solid. I think the Jaguars match. I don't like Daniel Jones this week. Sounds like he's injured. He's playing injured with that tibia injury. So I don't like him this week. And I think the Jaguars could struggle a little bit too against that Colts D. So I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. So probably under on this for sure. I don't like that. I don't like the Titans this week against the Browns. So don't like anyone on them. So I'm not starting any Titans this week. Hands down from there.
I agree with all those. CJ Stroud. I don't like anybody in that whole game. I think the Chiefs have to play great. And I think that the Texans have the best D. It's just ugly game. Aaron Rodgers downgrade. Yeah, I think I went over mine, but these are just situations where when two upset teams, their defense usually shows up and travels on the road. I just some of those games I'm quite suspect on. Nasty sleeper time, Dave. I'm gonna go Jameson Williams, and he's not really a starter. Sometimes he throws up some goose eggs on you. I mean, he's like a wide receiver 4, but now he's going to move all the way up to 2, maybe 1. If Amon-Ra St. Brown's out and that Cowboys D is bad, he was the big benefactor last week with that injury, Dave.
I'm going the really nasty one this week, actually. I'm going the quarterback again, but I'm going with Shadir Sanders against the Titans.
Oh, that's nasty, bro.
It is nasty. I think this is his week that he breaks out. I think he's good for over 250 yards and a couple touchdowns this week. So, yeah, I'm getting a little nasty this week. I'm going with Shadir Sanders.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to this podcast. If you have any questions for us, feel free to tweet us at The Icebreakers. Email us at info@theicebreakers.com. Have a great rest of your week and go get some winners.